Hello, everyone. It's Sibyl Star, and I'm here to give the astrology forecast for the coming week, the week of July 10th to the 16th. I call this MoonDay morning astrology because it comes out on Monday mornings, and Mondays is the day of the moon, which is especially relevant since the sun is in Cancer. And Cancer in astrology, we say, is ruled by the moon. They're very similar energies. So we have for the next week, we have the sun in Cancer from 18 to 24 degrees. And Cancer is a very sensitive, emotional, and moody sign as it is ruled by the moon. Cancer is the first water sign, and it asks us to feel every emotion, as its ruler, the moon, is said to represent our emotional body, our bodies. And when we repress our emotions, they often become blocked in our energy bodies, which can cause illness. Cancer tells us we have to feel every emotion as it comes through. And then as we feel it, we then release it. Okay. Cancer is also very imaginative and creative. It is a healing, nurturing energy, and many people who have Cancer strong in their cosmic DNA, I guess we could say, or caregivers, nurses, counselors. Okay. Cancer also relates to home and family and our most private self. Cancer's primary need is emotional security and a need for belonging. They may withdraw when they are hurt and build up their emotional defenses like the shell of a turtle. For the ancient symbol for Cancer is the turtle, where the current one is the crab. But they both have a hard shell, okay, and a soft inner core. It is the archetype of the mother, and whatever they are mothering, whether it is children, animals, plants, their creative projects, whatever they feel they've given birth to. Um, and it is just simply a very nurturing kind of an energy. The shadow of Cancer is to take things personally that are not meant to be and hiding behind the mother archetype. It is often easier to care for the needs of others than get one's own needs met. And xenophobia or fear of those who are different. Cancer can be very clannish. All right, so what else is going on this week? Well, first we have a couple of planets changing signs. Mercury is leaving Cancer and moving into Leo. Will be on July 11th, is going to be moving from 0 to 12 degrees. And Mercury into Leo. Leo says that we are more expressive, even theatrical, and given to speech giving, and storytelling. This is a great storytelling kind of an energy. Because, Leo is related to the inner child as well as the creative process. And storytelling is part of our inner child, is what our inner child responds to. Okay. We are also more convincing and persuasive as we exude confidence when we speak or write. Leo can be very proud, very really think highly of themselves, which is a good thing. We all need to think highly of ourselves. It's just when it steps over into shadow material, because Leo is here to express the joy of living and the celebration of life. And the sun is so much about self-love. Anyway, but the shadow is grandiosity in our speech. We can also be dogmatic and arrogant. All right. Another planet is changing signs, and that is Mars. Mars is moving out of Leo into Virgo on July 10th, and it'll be traveling from 0 to 4 degrees. And of course, whenever Mars is active anywhere in our chart, it acts like a catalyst. It's like things are going along, but when Mars comes along, things pop. They just move. Okay, so if you have any planets at 0 to 4 degrees of Virgo, you might have something popping this week. Anyway, but in Virgo, Mars is a workhorse, and especially following Leo, it's more about cleaning up and reorganizing after a big party. Leo is the party, is this the celebration of life, the fun. Virgo is the one who comes in and then cleans up, puts it all back together. And it's always great to have many people with Virgo in their energy field, and especially Mars in Virgo, because they do come in. They just start helping, being of service, picking up, cleaning up after the party. You can always count on uh, the Virgos being willing to do that. They enjoy doing that. Okay. In Virgo, we have Mars has a passion for details as well as the need to do the right thing at just the right time. The satisfaction of a job well done is one of the greatest incentives right now. And the shadow is that we can be so focused on the task that we forget to live. Okay. And chronic busyness. All right. All right, so Venus, she's really active this month. She's going to go retrograde on July 22nd. But right now, this week, she's slowing down. She's only moving 2 degrees this month. She's moving from 25 to 27 degrees. She's going to go retrograde at 28. And of course, Venus is the goddess of love and a face of the divine feminine. And she always brings in relationships, self love, self worth, beauty, and creativity. And in Leo, is the sign ruled by the sun, is that creative fire of spirit that lives within each of us. And Venus retrograde is so much about reevaluating different areas of our life, especially those that have to do with our relationships with others, as well as self-love and self-worth and how we value ourselves. A word related to Venus is value. And like I said, in Leo, it's very much about, that creative life force where, it's like, how do we have joy in our lives? Because Venus in Leo is so much about following that joy, following that passion. And I feel like there's many things that are coming together to make this become more apparent and clear to us, as well as Venus in Leo is the archetype of the queen or the woman who knows her worth. I feel like this is another meaning of this Venus retrograde that is coming up. And I'm going to continue talking more about her as she's slowing down. And then we'll talk about the whole cycle of Venus. I'm actually going to be doing a whole video, a separate video around this Venus retrograde cycle because it's just such a powerful one. All right. The nodes of the moon are at 0 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. Next week, on July 17th, they're going to change signs into Aries and Libra. So this is like the last degree because the nodes always move backwards. Well, not always. There's a few days a month they don't, but most of the time they do. And so I feel like it's the purest form of Taurus at the 0 degrees. And of course, it's also Venus ruled. And so I feel like the north, and of course, the north node of the moon is our way forward. And so it says, do you know your worth as we head into this Venus cycle? I feel like this is a big piece of what the Venus cycle is about. And the thing is, you must value yourself for others to value you. That's really the truth of this. So, Venus brings up our relationships, but, to have love from others, it's important that we love ourselves first. And that's what this is about. Okay. Pluto is square the nodes, and it's going to be square the nodes through October. Pluto is at 29 degrees of Capricorn right now, just moved out of 0 degrees Aquarius. And like I said, the nodes are going to change signs next week, and it's going to move into 29 degrees of Aries Libra, which is squaring this Pluto. It's a very tight square that is happening right now. The exact square is going to happen on July 25th, though. Anyway, whenever the nodes, so Pluto square the nodes, it indicates destiny. The nodes have to do with our destiny. And Pluto squaring them, it is about deep whole soul healing as well as our mission in life. Pluto also calls us to that. Um, so it says, you know, we may be changing directions in our life over the next several months. Pluto is about a purification of the emotional body. And of course, the nodes of the moon is the emotional body. So the nodes of the moon carry some of that emotional energy of the moon. And so it's a purification of the emotional body where we hold fear and trauma. And Pluto is in Capricorn. And in Capricorn, it can indicate generational and collective trauma as well as personal. It is about releasing the conditioning, or at least one aspect of it to me is about releasing conditioning from the patriarchal, hierarchical paradigm that makes us question our worth. Okay. There are many religions that tell us that we are not worthy. I don't know. I said prayers when I was a child. Oh Lord, I am not worthy. And you know, this is conditioning to release the where we are plugged into that patriarchal paradigm that tells us there is something innately wrong with us. We can unplug from this and start to remember our worth, that we are divinity. We are not sinners. We are divinity, and claim our self-worth. We have trauma, and that is what we are trying to heal, is the trauma, so that we can express fully who we are, uh, our higher selves, not our traumatized selves. That's the part that needs to heal, and Pluto is doing that. Anyway, I found this great quote online, and it says, "It's wild when you decide you are worth more, because the universe starts opening doors to make it a reality." And that's what happens. You make that decision and the universe listens. Okay. All right. So the moon and her signs and aspects for the week. On Monday, the moon is in Aries. When the moon is in Aries, we are motivated to start new, to start afresh, a new project. A gut instinct to start something new is with us now. Our pioneering impulses are strong and we feel energetic, spontaneous, enthusiastic. When the moon is in Aries, you might find that you just simply have more energy. Okay. Although the moon in Aries can also be tactless and impulsive, and excess energy is best channeled into physical activity. All right. Tuesday and Wednesday, the moon is in Taurus. And in Taurus, we're motivated by the desire for serenity, security, peace, and comfort. The moon here is at her most sensual. She loves the senses. The moon is what we say exalted in Taurus. And she loves to just feel everything. Feel, you know, the sun on her face, the grass, the breeze. You know, it's a very sensual kind of an energy. It's a time to relax, to resist, and to find comfort. There may be a tendency to resist change, and life slows down a bit, which is good. Also, although the moon is conjunct Uranus during this time, so we can say here, expect the unexpected to happen, and you might be pushed out of your comfort zone. You might have some surprises here, either on Tuesday or Wednesday. On Thursday through mid-Saturday, uh, the moon is in Gemini, and Gemini, our instinct is to communicate, to think, and learn under the influence of this moon. We are motivated by a desire for variety and by a curiosity. The moon in Gemini is lighthearted, breezy, and curious. It can also be restless and fickle. Gemini likes to communicate. It's a good energy to have for a Friday night get together, and sharing ideas, playing cards, you know, all kinds of fun things. Gemini likes to have fun. On Sunday or mid-Saturday through Sunday, the moon is in Cancer, which gives way to an instinctive need for peace and quiet. A feeling of belonging and safety is what motivates us under this influence. Our feelings may run deep, making it an ideal time to get in touch with our inner being. And there is a healing potential here, because cancer says you have to feel it to heal it, because we know that repressed emotions can cause illness and disease. It's a good day to spend with your family, and you might just want to rest at home, cook, and prepare the home and family for the coming week. All righty. Well, wishing you all a wonderful upcoming week, sending you many blessings and namaste and many prayers to you. All right. Thank you.